Hey everyone, it's God Center with Matthew. Today we're going to be back in the book of Matthew. Just went right over to the next chapter. So it's this is the chapter where Jesus transfigures on a mountain. So we're going to go to verse 1 of chapter 17. Now after about 6 days, Jesus took Peter, James, and John his brother, led them up on a high mountain by themselves. And he was transfigured before them. His face shone like the sun. His clothes became as white as the light. And behold, Moses and Elijah appeared to him, talking with him. Then Peter answered and said to Jesus, Lord, is it good for us to be here? If you wish, let us here make 3 tabernacles, one for you, one for Moses, and one for Elijah. While he was still speaking, behold, a bright cloud overshadowed them, and suddenly a voice came from the cloud saying, This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. Hear him. And then the disciples heard it and fell to their faces. And they were greatly afraid. But Jesus came and touched them and said, Arise, and do not be afraid. When they had lifted up their eyes, they saw no one but Jesus only. So these guys just actually seen God and the God the Father with God the Son, and then he's seen Elijah and Moses. You know, Elijah never tasted death. He was one of the people that actually never did die here on this earth. He got took into heaven. So he's a very important character in the Bible. There's only a few people, him and Enoch, I believe, only 2 that I can recall that never tasted death. So it's just it's just amazing how these people have been walking with Jesus, and then they see the Father and they get scared. They get terrified. I don't know that I would like to think that I wouldn't be terrified if actually seeing God, especially if I'm with the Son of God and I've been following him around and believing that this is the Son of God. So how strong was their belief? It's hard to say that it was a very strong one, because they got afraid whenever, at this particular time anyways, they was afraid. So I don't know, it's like I said, it's strange that like they was walking around the Son of God, and then when God the Father shows up, they get terrified. Because they've been with Jesus, so they couldn't have been up to nothing really bad. I mean, whatever their life was before that, they've been walking with Jesus. So we shouldn't be scared of God, I guess is where I'm getting to. We shouldn't be scared of God. We can't change what we've done in the past. We can only walk with Jesus now, walk with God, talk with God, and explain to him, things that go on throughout our day, throughout our life, and just try to change for the best is what I do. Well, that's what I do. So I'm gonna go to verse 9 now. Then now they came down from the mountain. Jesus commanded them, saying, Tell the vision to no one until the Son of Man is risen from the dead. And his disciples asked, saying, Why then do the scribes say that Elijah must come first? So it's preluding into, when I was reading this, I was like, I already knew the answer to this. We're fixing to go into this in a minute. This is some really good stuff right here. We're going to go to verse 11. Jesus answered and said to them, Indeed, Elijah is coming first, and will restore all things. But I say to you that Elijah has came already, and they did not know him, but did to him whatever they wished, Likewise, the Son of Man is also about to suffer at their hands. Then the disciples understood that he spoke to them of John the Baptist. So he's talking about, they're saying that, and Jesus answered them, indeed, Elijah is coming first and will restore all things. Will restore all things. And Elijah's who? Elijah's John the Baptist. And what was John the Baptist doing? John the Baptist, so this was the lesson we taught a couple weeks ago. John the Baptist was out baptizing. This is just coincidence, or I guess it's not. Jesus does lead my lessons, but it's really, if you watch me every week, I don't plan this stuff out. Jesus gives me the word to go to, and this is where it's at. So it's like I didn't map this out, but it couldn't have been mapped out any better, because who did we talk about like 2 weeks ago? We talked about John the Baptist, and what was John the Baptist doing? He was out in the wilderness, and he was baptizing people. They said that Elijah was coming. Let's read this again. Elijah come first and will restore all things. Restore all things by what? Through the baptism. So, I hate to beat a dead horse with this, but the baptism is the most important thing you can do for yourself. If you haven't been baptized, let's get you wet, because that's what John the Baptist did, and John the Baptist was actually Elijah. Came back, I guess a reincarnated version of him or something. So we'll go to verse 14. And then they came to the multitude, and man came to him, kneeling down to him, saying, Lord, have mercy on my son, for he is an epileptic, and suffers severely, for he often falls into the fire and often into the water. So I brought him to your disciples, but they could not cure him. Then Jesus answered them, O faithless and perverse generation, how long shall I be with you? How long shall I bear with you? Bring him here to me. And Jesus rebuked the demon, and it came out of him. The child was cured from that very hour. So Jesus rebuked this demon. There's still people demon possessed, but there's nobody out here. Jesus ain't here rebuking the demons, and there's nobody I've seen demons cast out. I cast one out of my own self, but it's not a thing that's going on in the open. It's not a thing, because every time I've seen it's been behind closed doors. It's nothing that's being out in the open anymore. I wish they could get back into the demons being cast out publicly, because they're here. Anybody that's deciding to have that surgery done, they've got to have a demon in them. I believe my mom, I was talking to her about that. She believes the homosexuals have demons, and I believe it as well. I believe they're demon possessed. There's demons all through this Bible, man. You have to just not read this at all to realize there's demons still here, because there was demons there. There was demons in Jesus' time, and there's still demons here. He didn't take them with him whenever he died on that cross. He died on the cross to save our soul, to where we're able to get into heaven. We're able to be adopted into the family of Christ. So we'll go to verse 19. Then the disciples came to Jesus privately and said, Why could we not cast it out? Jesus said to them, Because of your unbelief. For surely I say to you, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you will say to this mountain, Move from here to there, and it will move, and nothing will be impossible for you. However, this kind does not go out except through prayer and fasting. So there we go again with this prayer and fasting. I need to get back into the fasting. You're not supposed to talk about when you do it. You're supposed to be a thing between you and God. And I haven't done it quite some time. I really need to get back into doing that at least once a month or something. We used to do it once a week when I was in the mission. But if you read real closely, I want to read this again because of how important it is. However, this kind does not go out except by prayer and fasting. So evidently Jesus has been fasting, Jesus has been praying, and the disciples clearly hadn't been. So I said we have the seed, the faith the size of a mustard seed. We can do anything. The thing is, we have to have faith, and it's not to say that we can become the next big actor, the next big rapper, or the best big tycoon, oil field guy, or CNN, like Ted Turner or nothing like that. It's not saying that, and that's not to say that none of us are able to do any of that stuff. It does take hard work. We can't just snap our fingers and it's there. It does say that we can do anything. It doesn't say that it's going to be given to us. But it says, I'm going to go back to for surely I say to you, if you have the faith of a mustard seed, you will say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it will move, and nothing will be impossible for you. Now it says nothing will be impossible for you, but it doesn't say that it's going to be easy. It does say that. I guess it does say it'll be. You can say for this mountain to move, and it'll move. We are supposed to speak good things into existence. He's talking about speaking with our mouth. And I need to start listening to my own preaching, man, because there's a lot of things going on in my life that I need to start speaking into existence. I need to start having the faith that it's going to come, and then put my work towards it. So there's a whole bunch of stuff that's involved with this, other than just saying you believe and then saying for a mountain to move. A mountain, he's not talking about a mountain picking up, he's talking about like obstacles in our way. All of us has got some kind of hurdles we got to jump. This poor guy out here working on my truck, he's got so many obstacles, I guess, in his way. He's been up there for, I don't know, going to be going on a week here in a few days, put some ball joints on. He's making progress on it. It's hot, it's just, I pray he gets it done, man, because I know it's probably frustrating him more than it is me. I can go ahead and tell you that. I'm just thankful I've got somebody there working on it and that's showing up, and I pray that he finishes it, man, because it seems to be a bigger job than me or him thought it was going to be. I don't really know. I don't know much about mechanics. I can do a little bit there, but that was something I knew I was not going to be able to tackle on my own, and I just hope that he can get it done. It's just, man, sometimes things can be overwhelming. I'm just thinking about that because I'm seeing it. I'm looking at every day things that's getting done, and it's like some things we can't see the little progress. I'm actually able to see a little progress. It's not a bunch of progress each day, but it's more done each day than the day before. But sometimes we can't see that as Christians, like how when we became Christians, when we got baptized, and the stuff we went through, the trials and tribulations, the errors, and us falling down and us having to get back up. It's the same thing as that truck out there. It's just something we got to keep pushing towards and picking at and doing until the job's done. Until Father calls us home. My uncle passed away this week, and it's sort of I don't know. It's been hitting me off and on. It didn't hit me like crazy at first. It's been off and on. He was a really good man. I know he was a good Christian man, because he was proud of his lessons, and he's going to be missed, man. He's going to be missed, and I love Jesus, and I want everybody to get to heaven. I don't want to to misguide nobody, and I don't want nobody to not get in because of what maybe somebody else has told them and they believed, because the baptism is very, very important. And if you hadn't been baptized, I beg and plead you to go get baptized. So I'm going to go to verse 22 now. Now, while they were staying in Galilee, Jesus said to them, "The Son of Man is about to be betrayed into the hands of men, and they will kill him. And on the third day, he will be raised up. And they were extremely sorrowful." They don't want their friend to die. They just now met God. They just met Elijah. They met Moses. They met God today, and now he's telling them he's fixing to die. They just had the most exciting day that probably they've ever had or ever will have. Meeting these just historic people that nobody else has seen. There's only 3 of them. That was a one and done deal. So I can only imagine how exciting and how crazy that must have been to actually, now that you've been with this guy, knowing for sure this is the guy. It's just, man, God's just so good, man. He really is, and we just had to stay the course. We're going to go to verse 24 now. When they had came to Capernaum, those who received the temple tax came to Peter and said, "Does your teacher not pay the temple tax?" He said, "Yes." And when he came into the house, Jesus anticipated on him, saying, "What do you think, Simon? From who do the kings of the earth take customs or taxes? From their sons or from strangers?" Peter said to him, "From strangers." Jesus said to him, Then the sons are free. Nevertheless, lest we offer them, go to the sea, cast a hook, and take the fish that comes up first. And when you have opened its mouth, you will find a piece of money. Take that and give it to them for me and you. So Jesus is saying that, we shouldn't be charged because, I'm the Son of God. That fathers don't charge their children. But he said, they're going to give us trouble anyway. So he just sent him to go catch a fish, and boom, it's there. Sometimes we just have to do what Jesus has told us to do, even though it don't make sense. Does that make sense to, somebody, sometimes God tells me to do things that doesn't make sense or steers me in a direction that doesn't make sense. But more so than not, it actually ends up making sense on all the things that happened. I'm still trying to make sense of the last 3 years. The last 3 years has been just, I guess you'd say, a transition back into everything. Transition from Baldwin County up to here. But I hadn't been up here 3 years, but the transition started roughly 3 years ago. I don't know how long it's been, but it's been getting close to 3 years that I've been doing these videos. I have to look back and see, but I don't know if I've got any that's 3 years old. But it's, I'm working on 3 years. I started these videos while still in Baldwin County. Now I've been up here about 2. But the last 3 years have been sort of, I trusted God. I went and sold my house and I moved up here, and that didn't make no sense, to be honest with you. Because I was in a good spot where I was at. I was by myself now, but I heard it from God. I wouldn't have been able to go to my uncle's funeral. I'll tell you that though. Probably. I mean, I might could have. It's harder to take off from a job when you're like 5-6 hours away. I might not have been able to. I would have maybe made it to my grandma's funeral. I know there's been funerals that I didn't make it to because of work. Bad timing. There's been weddings that I ain't been able to go to. There's all kind of things that I've missed out on with the family because I was 5.5 hours away, and it's just harder to take off, because you've got to have actually more than that day off when you're that far away. So I don't know, man. It's like the whole fish thing. It's like sometimes it don't make sense to me. He didn't question though. He went out there and did it. So my thing is, don't question God. If you feel in your heart, and it just doesn't make sense logically, but you feel in your heart this is what God's wanting you to do, then just go do it. Make the move. I don't know exactly who I'm talking to, but I feel like I'm talking to somebody. Somebody's got something that's tugging on them, that God's speaking to them, and they don't make sense, but they know that deep down it's supposed to be like that. That's what happened to me. This whole, I started thinking about that when the fish thing. Man, that's how God speaks to me. Selling my house, moving here was my fish with the money in it. The fish, the obstacle that, or the weird thing he tells me to do that didn't make sense, but in the long grand scheme of things, it was what needs to be done. So sometimes just you have to listen to your gut. You have to listen to God, whether or not it makes logical sense or not. So I know I'm rambling at this point, but I just want to tell each and every one of y'all I love y'all, and I appreciate y'all watching. And it's been a good week. It's been a busy week, and the only it's not been a good week because my uncle died, but other than that, it's not been too bad a week. I know he's in a better place, and I'll see him one day, and hopefully it ain't gonna be no time real soon. I've got some more things on this planet to do. I feel like I got some souls to save and some things yet to do. Off the glory of God, of course. I mean, that's the only thing that even matters to me anymore, is whether God's happy with me or not. And I believe that's the way everybody should be. And I just want to tell each and every one of y'all I love y'all. Until next week. If you like what you've seen, like, share, and subscribe.